Howdy, everybody. My name is JR. And this past weekend, Stacey and we decided to just go to the movies. We normally don't go to the movies very often, but after seeing that Superman was coming out, Marvel countered back with its own movie.
Are you sure it happened that way?
In my head, it did.
Okay.
What's going on, everybody? This your boy King Germ, one half of Pod and Saved Our Marriage. Each and every Friday, Queen Germ and myself drop an episode to show the people how Pod and Saved Our Marriage. Now, we're not like most married couples. Most of the time we disagree, but that's the beauty of the show. So, when you get through listening to Sparrows on the review, come give us a listen. Each and every Friday on any DSP, go look for Pod and Saved Our Marriage.
Well, everybody, we're back. We're actually in the studio for the first time in a long ass time, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
With the actual white roadcaster.
Shout out to Road for being so good about switching on back up after they sent you the black one.
Right. Nothing wrong with that one. Just, my setup is white. Now, the Fantastic Four, the first steps. Stacey.
Yes.
How did you get involved with this movie?
Oh, good Lord. Anybody that knows obviously knows that you drug me there. Now, granted, I did see a couple previews and I thought it would be okay. I'm not huge on Marvel because I don't have the attention span and I don't have the memory capacity to remember all of it and follow it. And like there's stuff where I can pick a person and you can tell me their whole story. And I don't have that capacity in my head right now.
Understandable, but like I was saying to one person on my podcast, with Marvel, they made it to where their cinematic universe is television. You got to watch cartoons. You got to do a lot of. It's like going to college basically or high school. You got to do a lot of studying. But with this movie, what attracted me to it, even though I am a fan, and it didn't have anything to do with Galactus or my nickname being Galactus, but it was this real simple thing.
Since when is your nickname Galactus?
Man, I've always been called Galactus. I'm the conqueror of worlds. You ain't never seen every galactic place to be everywhere.
No, I ain't never heard anybody call you Galactus or you refer to yourself as Galactus.
Wow. Okay.
Like, I mean, I know you like to brag about your championship belts, but as far as Galactus, no, I think you just made that up on the spot.
Oh, wow. I'm about to go through my Google photo history and show her. But anyway, so getting to this, the one thing that was set out, I think it was on Screen Rant or somewhere, they said that this was not going to be anything that's canon in the Marvel universe, which, I mean, it has aspects that play along that are going to tell a new story because of certain things that I told you about with the whole phase, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what attracted me to it because I believe it was, and they said that it would be something that a person that knows nothing about this can watch and enjoy.
Right, and I took that into consideration when we first went in there. So let me just get my rant out of the way. I would like to shout out the Roby Theater there in Spencer, West Virginia, for having an affordable and decent establishment that I don't have to drive an hour away from the house to watch.
True.
I don't want to give a shout out, but I also want to call out the people that decided to sit right in front of me when the theater legit had 6 people in it.
6 motherfucking people.
And somebody had to sit right behind me and right in front of me.
Yeah, like, did you need a hug, motherfucker? Like, I'm just saying, like, nothing happened to me because they seen me and they probably were scared. I was out that bitch looking like Wolverine with my hair and shit.
Right, and it'd be different if it was a short lady. Like, if some of my mom's size went and sat in front of me, that would have been fine. But this motherfucker was like 6 foot tall.
Or like 6'3" or 4. Yeah, that was a tall motherfucker.
Yeah, at least 6 foot. So here I am, had to freaking sit to the side because a motherfucker had to sit right in front of me in a theater was empty. Like, and this is a place that has ample seating space.
And it's got a damn balcony. Like you
exactly. It's not like you're going to like a Regal theater and you have that many seats, but you could fit a good 30, 40 people in there with no problem, and you still have space for, you know, breathing room.
True, true.
But like you said, I went into this knowing and hoping that I didn't have to know a whole lot from the past. And I feel like they explained enough to keep me interested and wanting me to watch the next one.
So 100%, I'm going to say this to anybody that has been watching the tried and true superhero films.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a tried and true superhero film. This movie took a whole different aspect of how they did their storytelling. And some people are going to counter this with the Superman talk, and we won't do that on this show. Well, we can do that on the sidebar if you catch me on social media somewhere. But what I liked about this was, like I said, when we jumped right into it, it gave you, they were already had their superpowers.
Right.
They did
but
it.
There was like little flashbacks in it, right?
Yeah, there were little flashbacks at the very beginning and different things. So they told the story of the cosmic power in a way that made sense for people. But they didn't go heavy into it. They didn't make you have to become a scientist to understand it.
Right. It was kind of like I said, it gave you enough information to where you would understand what was going on, and that I liked the little storytelling. It was kind of like one of those movies of, how did you say it? The alternate universe. And this was their version of World or Earth 828. So I kind of like, yeah, I could have known the stuff that was going on before and all of that stuff, and knew a little bit more of what was going on, but I also didn't have to know anything else to enjoy this.
And I'll say this, like the one thing like that got me about this, and I didn't realize this is starting phase 6 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This movie starts it off, and then after this movie's done, there will be a new Spider-Man movie, a new Avengers movie, another Avengers movie.
Now, of course, remember, this is all Wikipedia information. This is not confirmed or insider information. So you can head on over there and see what we're seeing if you want to follow along with us.
And we all know about the whole deal about the Wonder Man and certain things like that, and then the Daredevil TV show and Vision stuff. So that's stuff that's all tied into it, and also your neighborhood friendly Spider-Man, which was a cartoon we watched, including, so it's a lot going on there. And with that, I'm happy to say, like, the way that they started phase 6 was very well. This movie took a retro feel to it. Like it if you're not from that time period, which we're not, looking at it and knowing that this was set to be in the 60s with the future technology they had after, I did do a little reading afterwards. Like, the movie was fast paced. It wasn't a very long Marvel movie. I think runtime was like 114 minutes maybe, or a little bit less. So it was a good in and out movie. It wasn't like I had to sit there and give up all of my life to watch this. And that's one thing I'm glad that they took into Inception for this. Now, I will tell you this. A lot of people have to be very careful with this, because some people don't understand that this is technically, they call it the second reboot, but there's 3 set of movies now for Fantastic Four, and the other 2 do not count in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
or at least on this storyline.
Yeah.
Or did they not count as Marvel at all?
They don't count as Marvel at all. Like, Marvel, they were done outside of Disney. So some people will recognize them, and the last one was like a horror. Like, I'm talking about, they had the characters wild. So I will tell you this: if you want source material that is quick to handle this, if you need an education on Silver Surfer, I would tell you, before we get into this, you can watch the animated series. It's like 12 episodes. And then you can even go back to the original Fantastic Four cartoon, not the 1960s joint. I'm talking about the one from 1994 or 96. You can watch the first 4 episodes of either one of those if you need origin stories, and they're very thorough if you have to have the history. I'm not telling you to go read every comic book, but...
Well, I will say, watching this movie made me interested in those things, because I know I've seen you play the Silver Surfer on whatever streaming service it's on, And I know that there was another two things that you watched that doesn't necessarily have to go along with this, but it makes you understand a little bit better of those things. And like I said, seeing this movie made me want to watch those things.
Okay, and I can go over that too because the thing I like about it was it had short comedy in certain spots.
Yeah.
When you got to the characters, let's go through that roll call real quick. Reed Richards is played by
Pedro
Pedro
Pascal.
Pascal. And Reed Richards, his ability is he can stretch, and he was already a very highly sophisticated scientist. He was highly intelligent before going in, and all of them were astronauts. You have his wife, Sue Richards, or Susan, is if you want to call her that. I call her Sue.
Sue Storm.
Yeah, Sue Storm. So, yeah, Sue Storm. Oh, yeah. Are they married yet? My bad. Damn, I'm going too deep. All right. So she's the brother to Johnny. Johnny is the fire guy, Human Torch. They actually didn't call him the Human Torch in the film at all, I don't think.
I don't think so.
But that is, they do call him the Human Torch. And then Ben Grimm, for some reason, they didn't go into any detail. That's the only thing a gripe I had about this film. They didn't go into any detail about why he turned into the Thing.
Do they give that in the other movies?
In the other movies, I don't remember, but I know in the cartoon they do.
Okay.
So, but his story didn't need any explaining because the way they made him to me to be your favorite character in some spots because the way that he interacted with children, they made it to where this movie can be friendly on so many fronts that you don't have to have a harsh, dark overtone like a Superman or a Batman.
Right. And I like the part where they had to conserve energy in this movie and he could no longer shave his beard, which, you know, the Thing is basically a rock person. And you could see the different parts of his beard growing. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Right. And I think, and it was just a minor little detail like that made the movie wild. Now, one thing that was gripping for me was that they decided to throw in the worst boss you can put in a movie. And this is why I'm going to say this. The movie was great, but listen to why I'm going to say this part. Galactus is the worst boss to throw at someone because he has heralds. And the herald you get is a Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer, you get really no explanation. They just drop out the sky and they're like, your world is over, blah, blah, blah.
Right. So I do need to make a confession. And I already went over this with you. But I feel like the people that hold on to my every word need to know this too.
Okay.
When we were watching this movie, Galactus, I thought he was a different person.
Who do you think he was?
Well, you know this. We already went over it. So here I go. We're watching the movie. And I'm like, okay, I know who Galactus is. This is something I can hold on to. I can picture it. And next thing you know, Galactus appeared in the movie, and I'm like, that motherfucker is too big to be Galactus. And here I'm thinking, like, how do that glove fit on Galactus's hand with all those gems? And so here I am, confused during the whole movie, just for a little, not the whole movie, but the back half. And we get home, or maybe it's on the ride home. I'm explaining this to you. And I was like, I don't see how that fits. And you're like, because that's not the right one. Here I was thinking that Galactus was, what's his name?
Thanos. Yeah, and it's an honest mistake. A kind of funny one. So, like one little tidbit, you get another villain in this movie called Mole Man. Mole Man, huh?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. Go on.
Well, you get Mole Man in this movie, and Mole Man literally he only has like 30 seconds of being a villain, and then him and Sue Richards negotiate a deal, and he goes back underground, and he's cool. Now, going back over to Silver Surfer, the story that they put in line is the story of Shala Bell, which everyone knows that they flipped the story for the female or the male. They're from the same planet as Zenlon. They're scientists. So that's something that was pretty interesting. I like that they used this Silver Surfer over any other one because it kind of gives you an aspect of whoa.
Well, I mean, it made it make sense because, um, what's his name? The Johnny Storm, you know, there was that, those feelings there for the Silver Surfer. So, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be too weird, but to me, it made more sense to have it as a female than a male because that's just not something you automatically think of in your head.
Okay.
With the storyline that they played.
Now, one other thing that ties into this that I like to talk about, this is just for the nerds involved in this, and I'm a nerd too. This is the first actual undertaking of mutants. This is the way that you realize that, hey, we're getting to X-Men, we're going to get to the mutants because they're tying this all together. So the movie progresses in a good manner. I don't want to spoil the story if you haven't gone to see it, but I will say that the forces that be, obviously, the world, held the Fantastic Four to a high regard for a while, and then they didn't ever truly turn their backs on them, but they kind of just decided, like, hey, you're not going to do something for us, we're going to just turn our backs on you. One thing I do like about the Fantastic Four in this film, they're always giving back to the world, but the world truly never gave back to them.
Right, that's kind of what it felt like. And I don't care if anybody gets offended when I say this, but I feel like that's how it is now. Everybody is expecting something from somebody, and they want that without any type of return. Because I'm sorry, people are selfish anymore. So I think that this was kind of an accurate depiction of what's happening these days.
Right, and it was like the way society just turned on them. I kind of like, it was kind of harsh, and I was like, whoa. One cool thing that I did like about this movie is there were no cameos from any other Marvel character that wasn't supposed to be here.
Right.
And then the great setup in this movie for what goes on in the future, you'll have to wait and check that out on your own time. But it did a good setup, and it didn't make me feel bad at the end. Because there were two things in this movie. There was one Easter egg that I won't point out to anybody, but if you pay attention to the world affairs during this movie, you'll notice a certain country is not involved, and that certain country has a certain villain. And that will tell you what happens at the end of this movie. So if you pay attention to that one clip, because I know a lot of people, when you see it, it moves very fast. It stops on a country that starts with an L, Latveria. And if you know who's from Latveria, then you know who I'm talking about. But overall, Stacey, what would you rank this movie?
As far as Marvel movies, I think it's one of the top ones that I've watched recently. It makes me want to get back into watching the Marvel movies when they're kind of like this. It makes me want to learn some of the history. Sorry guys, my dog started snoring. Hopefully you can't hear it, but it makes me kind of excited for the sequel if they're able to complete all of that.
Yeah, me too, Bear. And I hope that it goes further. This will go in my collection. Obviously, I'm a big Fantastic Four fan to a degree, mainly the villain and Silver Surfer. I do want to say something like probably like 3 or 4 years ago. I got it in my closet.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey bought me this big old Galactus and had a tiny Silver Surfer. It's a Funko Pop, and it's like this big. You can't. I'm showing you guys, and you're not seeing me, but it was a fairly big thing, and I don't even think she realized what it was. And I didn't get a chance to take it out the closet and show it to her and explain to her, because now her thinking about it, she realizes like, hey, yeah, I did get that for him. And either way, I'll say this movie is going to go down. It's going to start a new phase of Marvel. I'm going to give it its props there. Thank you for not being the same dull movie that made so many of us turn away from Black Widow. Straight up.
I'm glad that they didn't make it feel like a task. Like, and you kind of understand what I say when I say that. Like, you know how okay, I have to watch. You pulled that stuff up the other day for me. The first movie in the Marvel sign, I have to watch that movie to make everything make sense. And I have to watch this movie and this one and this one. And to me, this one felt like I wasn't pressured to watch it because it wasn't horrible. Some of the other Marvel movies were getting kind of like, I'm only watching this because I need it to make sense in the sequence.
Right. Some of them were cringy. And one other little tie-in I want to give to Galactus, if you've seen the Eternals, like I said, it's not a task, but like I said, I like how if you do watch everything, you know these things, and if you don't, when you've seen bits and pieces, but we actually watched the Eternals because that was like the COVID movie.
Well, what I'm saying is like this one, I would be okay with adding it in my line because it was good.
Okay.
Like, I can throw it in there in my timeline when we sit down and start doing Marvel Mondays. And if that's what we decide to do, and, I'll be okay adding this one in because I know I enjoyed it. And it's going to be a recommended one. Like, it's not like, what'd you say? Was it the Black Widow one?
Yeah, Black Widow one's the one.
Which one? Is that the one with, the lady from 50 Shades of Grey?
No.
Which one was hers?
Madam Web.
Yeah. So it's not like Madam Web, and I have to force myself to get through it to watch it, but it's one I enjoy, and I'm like, okay, let's watch this one so we can get it in order.
Okay, so let's go over some box office numbers because we do those.
So this only received an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes,
which is higher than Superman.
Whatever. It received an A- on Cinema Score. I'm hoping these numbers just haven't been updated because this would suck so far, or it does suck so far. Budget, $200 million.
Right. Now, on July 22nd...
Hold on. Box office, $106.2 million.
Right. And that's with the... that is because we were doing this really early.
We are, aren't we?
This is on July 27th. And the movie released on the 25th. So it's saying that...
So I guess they've earned half of their money back.
Yeah, they're saying basically with what goes on overseas, this movie will finish out with $210 million by its opening weekend. Its preview window, it made $24.4 million. That's the biggest preview box office of this year, surpassing Superman, which was released 2 weeks earlier. It collected $57 million on that day, ranking it below a Minecraft movie as the second highest opening movie of 2025. And the reason I'm relating this is if you do come over to the great podcast of West Virginia and Commonplace, I will be talking to people that have worked on a Minecraft movie and Superman on my show.
Yeah.
Just a little quick plug and tie-in. And they will tell you that this has been the most heated race for films this year. This is the return of box office. I didn't say cinema, but box office. Like, you're going to have movies out here pushing the envelope. So let's get ready for this fall season and see how we can get out here and support theaters and everything else there.
Alrighty. And on that note, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you don't mind, leave us a comment or a like or whatever you want to do down below, especially if you're listening on Spotify. And then head on over to Facebook and give us a follow there. We are also on Instagram. And if you have any suggestions or any type of help when it comes to watching all of these Marvel movies, as someone that has a short attention span, feel free to send us a message on Instagram or send us an email at sparrowsunderreview@gmail.com. My name is Stacey.
And I'm JR.